what I'm going to do is, since I'm just using pine, I'm cutting off one end from the factory just because they're never really, just to make sure it's perfect. I'm going to cut my length, and then I'm going to cut off like a quarter of an inch or so off the ends, because if you notice the ends are round. Anybody knows the pine, they're rounded. So I want that square so they butt up tight. I'm using a Craig jig to put it all together with a little bit of glue. So we end up cutting off just a blade width. So it's just under a quarter of an inch. You can see the thin layer. See how thin that is? And the reason why is because if you look here, you can see when this pine, that's the way it comes, and it leaves that groove in there. Didn't really want to do that. So whenever you trim off the edges just a little bit, you get a flat, tight surface. I forget, inside this box, can you see this? You loosen the Allen wrench and set it. You got 1/2, 1/4, 3/4, 1/2 inch, 5/16, 7/8, 1 inch, everything on the other side. And you loosen this, and I'm guessing this here should be all the way up in here, and you set this here and tighten it down to how thick the wood is. And then on here, you actually have it on the back side, 1/2 to 1/4, you know, you can see all that. And that's how far your bit goes inside there, which again, we're going to try it out on scrap. Go in the trash. This is just for demo purposes only. And that's what we was looking for. We got the right depth. 1.5 inches thick, 1.5 inches on that. This is set to 1.5. And you can see right there where the screw went in, right here. Okay, so this is the underside of the table. You can see my Craig jig where this is screwing up to upward. This one here is upward. This one's these are what's holding the tabletop down. And I used the Craig jig on the leg itself and screwed the tabletop through the legs. Here, the Craig jig is going this way. This one is going inward towards the other board. It's probably overkill that I glued each seam, but I have a Craig jig going inward towards that board, this one in towards that board, this one is going towards this other board. These are 12 inches apart, or roughly. So you're looking at every 6 inches, I have a Craig jig, but one is going the opposite way through the whole table. And I just want that way, I never really saw any rules on how far apart to put them. So I just did my own thing and made it stronger. But I took 2x4s and did the same way I did the 2x6s and 2x8s. I actually took them down a table saw and took off like a 1/4 inch off the 2x4 so that they're nice and flat. And then I just rounded the hell out of this with a sander because I didn't want straight edges. I wanted all of it to be rounded. And it's glued and screwed, so. So this is what we're doing. We're kind of cheating. I set the miter saw so it only cuts down so far. There's a little set screw back here. You have to add to the fencing on it so it actually cuts all the way through. You see that? It's nice and flat. And although I got brand new chisels, but I'm just kind of cheating the system. I'll use the chisel a little bit to clean it up a little bit, but for most parts, that's what I'm wanting. This here is what's into the table. This is going to look like. I was going to notch it out. This is the inner part of the table. I'm not going to notch it out. I'm going to leave it like this. So we went ahead and assembled it outside. You've seen there's a picture of the parts that we have down here. It's dark. Pre-drilled, and then I filled them in with wood putty on all these. This base could not be more sturdy. I used the same Craig jig for down here, all the way along. And that's what's going to mount the top. So I put them here. We'll mount the top through all that. We stained the whole bottom. My wife tried to spot. I'm gonna paint it white, and then she's gonna stress it with a little bit of sandpaper. So this is her first, actually she tested one outside, stressing wood, aging it, whatever you guys want to call it. So we'll see how it turns out. So far it's looking pretty good. down here, you saw where I cut it out on a chop saw to notch it out. I notched it out here, which is the same distance as a 4x4. I just use that there as my guideline. I notched it out here and along on the other side. The only thing I did not do was squared off the 4x4. They're rounded edges, but it is what it is. And that there's notched all the way through. This is through here, and then it's got 4 screws on the back side here. And then real nicely I took and 45'd the 4x4 so it wasn't all just sticking out. And then I just rounded everything real good to match all this here. And that's how I put that together. So do you like it?
Love it.
We just got the new chairs in from Amazon. So there's going to be a part 2 of how it all looks together with the new chairs. If you like it, please give a thumbs up, comment, whatever it is that people do, subscribe. Have a nice day.